Guys, the new AirPods are here. 2 new models to be exact. The AirPods Pro 2 got a new feature which I think may be the most important upgrade ever to hit an earbud ever. And the AirPods Max, well, let's talk about that. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Caleb Dennison coming to you from Apple Park, and it was a big day for Apple. New iPhone launches. I can't wait to talk about some of the creator-friendly stuff that those have, new Apple Watch stuff, and of course, the big reason I'm here is for AirPods. So let's break it down. What came out, what's new, and just as importantly, what is not. So the new AirPods 4, what's new with those? Well, it could be hard to tell just from looking because a lot of the new features are either very subtle or they're buried deep inside, but there is a lot new here. Apple says it used 3D photogrammetry and photography. I'm not sure what grammetry is. I'm gonna have to look that up. But they used that to map ear shapes with over 50 million data points. And the result, they say, is the most comfortable AirPods that they've made to date. Of course, everybody's ears are different, and how earbuds fit in them is a tricky thing to address. Apple did what it could to analyze as many different ears as it could and come up with a shape and design that was going to be the most comfortable it could be for the most amount of people. Once we get a chance to put the AirPods Generation 3 against the new Gen 4, we might be able to spot some of the differences on the surfaces of the earbud itself, but I gather it's going to be pretty minute. We might not even be able to see it at all. The new AirPods Gen 4 also come in a smaller case with USB-C charging, and users will also get the cool new feature where you can nod or shake your head to answer phone calls without actually saying anything to Siri at all. The new AirPods are powered by the H2 chip inside, which means they are going to get computational audio help, and Apple says that it has completely changed the acoustic architecture for these earbuds to make them sound better than they ever have in the past. I believe they said richer bass and crystal clear highs, which is generally what you want with audio products, but we'll see how they actually sound once we've gotten a chance to give them a thorough test. Speaking of, I did get 30 seconds to put these things in my ears, and quite frankly, I wasn't really able to gather a lot of useful information about them. But I should be leaving this place with some of those in hand, and I should have a full review for you very soon. Oh, I should also mention that they now have a force sensor included, and battery life has been improved. You get 30 hours total on average. That depends on how hard you drive them. That's with what's built into the earbuds and also what's available in the charging case. I did not get a breakdown of how long the buds themselves actually last. Again, that'll be great to discover for the review. The new AirPods product that I find the most interesting, however, are the AirPods 4 with ANC. Now, yes, obviously they do get active noise canceling, and I don't expect it to be quite as powerful as what you find in the AirPods Pro 2. However, that's just the beginning of all these trickle-down features from the AirPods Pro that we're going to be seeing in this new sort of mid-tier AirPod earbud. In addition to the ANC, you also get transparency mode. You also get adaptive audio, which brings your music or your movie, whatever you're listening to, it brings that level down so that you can be more aware of your surroundings. And they also now pack conversation awareness. You also get a new USB-C charging case, which can also do wireless charging, and Find My speaker is now built into this as well. When you zoom out and you take a look at what the new AirPods 4 with ANC offer, it looks a lot like the AirPods Pro, just without the actual ear tip. For now, it's fair to wonder, well, why would I spend so much more for the AirPods Pro than I would for this new mid-tier AirPods? And frankly, that's a really great question. I think if you don't need the custom ear tip, or if you're not comfortable with that kind of thing, this is going to be your product. At least, that is, until the new AirPods Pro 3 come out, which is expected, hopefully, sometime next year. But that doesn't mean that the AirPods Pro didn't get a big boost out of the Apple event today. One of the most important and I think exciting developments for earbuds in general is what Apple is doing around hearing assistance. Now, Apple says it has filed with the FDA to get the AirPods Pro 2 with this new feature recognized as a hearing aid. It's intended to help people with mild to moderate hearing loss. If you've got the AirPods Pro 2 and you've got an iOS device that handles iOS 18 or later, and apparently it will work with some Max as well, Max with macOS Sequoia or later, you'll be able to take a sort of hearing test where Apple provides a tone and tells you to tap the screen when you hear it. It collects a ton of data about your hearing capabilities and then makes it possible for you to change the way your music and movies sound. But in addition to that, it can actually assist you with your hearing. With all the computational audio stuff that's on board these AirPods, the ability to reduce air noise and do voice isolation, this could be a legitimate help to people who are suffering with some kind of hearing loss. Not only is it going to help folks in their day-to-day hearing, but it's also going to make what they listen to through the AirPods, music, movies, what have you, sound even better. Again, because the sound signature of the audio that's being pumped out of these things has been customized for your particular hearing needs. Now, I'm not suggesting that these are as good as the very best hearing aids out there, but again, for somebody with mild to moderate hearing loss that needs just a little bit of help, this is a great option because not only will it help with your hearing, but it fits into your life in other ways as well. And then finally, we have the AirPods Max. Now, I'll be honest, I was hoping for a rather big update on the AirPods Max today, and that is not what we got. What we found out is that the AirPods Max will now be available with USB-C charging and a whole slate of new colors, as you can see here. We'll have the names of all those colors listed below, as well as links to go and pre-order these if you like. Now, I imagine some folks might be a little bit disappointed that the AirPods Max didn't get a bigger overhaul. Anecdotally speaking, I can tell you that I know a lot of folks who were hoping for more. Maybe a slightly more comfortable headband, maybe a slightly lower weight, a power button, a proper case. None of those came to fruition, and we don't really understand what's going on in the minds of the folks at Apple. But they did have to get these things adapted to comply with European rules. That meant put a USB-C charging port in it. And while you're doing that, I suppose just tack on some new colors as well. It's a welcome addition, but it just makes me long for the new AirPods Max Generation 2 that we were kind of hoping to see today, but didn't. I imagine we might see a new AirPods Max product around the same time that we see a new AirPods Pro product. One can hope anyway. The new AirPods 4 model come in at $129. You'll get the new AirPods 4 with ANC for $179, and the AirPods Max remain at $549. Now, as I said before, I should be getting some AirPods 4, some AirPods 4 with ANC, and maybe a new iPhone to test out all these new features with them. We'll have the full review for those units coming very soon. I also have something to share with you about what I think the new iPhones are doing in terms of visuals and audio, both for professionals and creators and the average user. I think there's a lot going on there. So I'll be back with some more commentary from this momentous event at Apple Park. For now, that's all I have for you. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that notification bell. I'll see you on the next one. And until then, here's 2 other videos I think you might like.